Okay, so take a look at this, right? Assuming that this is the Power BI report, right? So it has a slicer, it has a table, right? So what is what is that? This filter DAX and all selected really works together with this calculated DAX, right? So let's take a look now. So what's really doing is that it says that it calculates the total quantity sold for just butter and coffee, right? Now, why is it for just butter and coffee, right? Because that in my filter is just butter and oh sorry, you see it, butter and coffee right there. So the filter supposed to just put butter and coffee. But however, right, I also apply a all selected, right? So let's see, right? So but only within the product currently selected in the slicer, right? So now we have all these product, but then we only at the moment the user is only interested in butter and cupcake. So that means the table is now streamed down to just butter and cupcake, right? Between the butter and cupcake, we do apply a filter, and the filter is butter uh, or coffee, right? So and coffee, right? So if you have butter, we will show you that. But then since the table is contain butter and cupcake, you only can get butter, no coffee, right? So this measure is slicer aware, right? If a slicer filters the product list, right? Butters and cupcake in this case, right? It will still only some butter and coffee, but only within the current slicer filter, right? Because it's all selected. Now, now what is this here, right? The calculate change the context, right? As you can see, there's a calculate, and then this is the base measure, right? This number of quantities sold, right? So, and the filter used to provide a row by row filter logic. You're narrowing down to just butter and coffee, right? So it's butter and coffee, and the all selected. Yeah, this is all selected. And this all selected is the key, right? Here you keep the slicer filters but remove any extra filtering from the current visual. Well, any extra visualing. So allow the measures to see all the values selected in the slicer, right? So all that's selected in this here, right? In the slicer, like they all selected, right? So you can see that here, since you selected butter and coffee, right? So if the butter is 10, coffee, a cupcake is 40, right? So all selected is 50. But if you say I'm using this butter coffee, right, then I'll get 10. Why? Because out of this 50, right, there's only butter is matching that, right? Because you want this filter for butter and coffee. Oh, yeah. Now here's the key, right? So now let's see here. Um, as I explained here again, right? So all selected is basically the product is butter and cupcake. So butter and cupcake, right? So then you filter the list for butter and coffee, right? You filter butter and coffee, but it's only butter is a result. So that's why this one butter coffee, right, is actually just getting 10, right? Okay, so here's something to think about, right? So what if the slicer include coffee, right? If it's include the coffee, right, what you get, right? If you include the coffee, then you probably get 40, right? Yeah, oh no, oh, 40, okay, yeah, 40. Coffee, butter and coffee, right? Butter and coffee should be 40, right? So butter, say you check butter and coffee, butter and coffee. Let's say you check butter and coffee. Oh, and also it's here. So butter and coffee would be 40. Exactly, right? Coffee quantity is 40, right? Okay. So because they're using a different, right? Because here coffee is 40, that's why it's 50. But in my chart, right, it's different, right? So anyway, coffee is coffee is 30, yeah, correct. So that's why it's 50 over here. But over here it's gonna be butter and coffee, right? So it's 30 and 10 will be 40. So it's sum the quantity of butter and coffee, right? only include them if they are selected in the slicer, right? Ignore filters from individual rows, like in that. This is a matrix, right? So they just ignore. You can see that the butter, they still put 10, right? So yeah. Thanks for watching. So I hope that this will explain to you the complexities of all selected filter uh, in a easier way, right? In the easier way. Thank you for watching, right? So this is something that I come out with, right? Maybe 2 years ago, right? After I spent a few years to understand this, and now I combine with the AI to help me understand even better. Thank you.